For years, Apple's AirTag has been a clever idea with one major limitation: range. Today, that limitation is officially gone. Apple has just introduced a new AirTag with expanded range and significantly improved findability. And while this may sound like a minor update on paper, the reality is far bigger. This is not just about finding lost keys anymore. This is about how Apple is quietly building the most advanced consumer-grade tracking network on Earth. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what changed, why it matters, and how this upgrade reshapes Apple's entire Find My ecosystem. From everyday users all the way up to enterprise-level implications. This is the AirTag update that actually matters. When AirTag first launched, Apple solved a real problem: finding nearby lost items using precision tracking, but it had clear constraints. Ultra-wideband worked incredibly well only at close range. Long-distance tracking relied on other Apple devices passing nearby. Findability depended heavily on the density of iPhones in the area. In cities, AirTag was excellent. In suburbs, rural areas, parking garages, or travel scenarios, it was inconsistent. In other words, AirTag was powerful, but situational. That's the context that makes today's update so important. Apple's new AirTag dramatically extends effective tracking range, and this fundamentally changes how the device can be used. Expanded range means faster location pings, fewer blind spots, stronger signal acquisition at distance, more reliable tracking across complex environments. This isn't just about raw distance. It's about signal persistence, how long and how reliably the AirTag remains detectable as conditions change. For users, this means lost luggage updates sooner, stolen items remain trackable longer, vehicles, bikes, and equipment are easier to locate, fewer last known location dead ends. Apple didn't just make AirTag louder, they made it smarter at being found. Expanded range is only half the story. The real upgrade is improved findability, and this is where Apple's systems-level thinking shows. Findability improvements include more efficient communication with nearby Apple devices, better handoff between devices in the Find My network, faster location refresh cycles, improved accuracy under movement, obstruction, or signal interference. This means AirTag now behaves less like a passive tracker and more like an active node in a distributed intelligence network. From a technical perspective, Apple is optimizing signal prioritization, device-to-device relay efficiency, background processing without sacrificing battery life. That balance, performance without power drain, is extremely difficult to achieve. Apple solved it at the ecosystem level, not just the hardware level. Let's talk practical impact. This upgrade directly benefits travelers tracking checked luggage, cyclists and scooter owners, vehicle owners monitoring valuables, parents tracking backpacks, professionals tracking equipment, tools, or cases. But more importantly, it reduces anxiety. The biggest complaint about trackers isn't accuracy, it's uncertainty. Apple's improved findability means fewer false negatives, faster confirmation, greater trust in the system, and trust is what turns a gadget into infrastructure. This update is not isolated. Apple is clearly strengthening the Find My network as a foundational layer of its ecosystem. Think about it. Hundreds of millions of active devices, encrypted, anonymous relay architecture, global scale without centralized tracking abuse. This positions Apple uniquely, not just for consumers, but for smart accessories, wearables, future spatial computing devices, asset tracking at scale. AirTag is becoming less of a product and more of a capability. If you already rely on AirTag daily, this upgrade is meaningful. If you've avoided AirTag because of range limitations, inconsistent updates, travel unreliability, this version directly addresses those concerns. However, if you only use AirTag occasionally in close-range environments, the original still works. This is an evolutionary upgrade, not a forced one. Apple didn't reinvent AirTag. They refined it, precisely where it mattered. Expanded range, improved findability, stronger ecosystem intelligence. This update quietly transforms AirTag from a convenience accessory into a serious tracking solution, and it signals where Apple is heading next. Invisible technology that simply works everywhere. That's the real story. And that's why this update matters.